Hi students, how are you? Hope you all are fine. I am too very glad to meet you all in this video class. So before beginning in the session, I want to ask you, are you very curious how this universe is functioning? Are you very curious why some objects are different from other objects? Are you very curious why the some objects are behaving different with other objects? It may be living things or non-living things. To explore the secrets of universe, to explore how these objects are different from each other, we are going to study about structure of atoms. Let us dive deep into the class. Come on, my dear friends. So, the basic purpose behind the structure of atoms. What is the basic purpose to study the structure of atoms? We have to understand why the elements are behaving differently with each other. Why each element have its own kind of chemical behavior. If we want to understand the behavior of particular element, we have to understand the internal structure of atom of that particular element. So we go to the class. Okay. So historical point of view, our understanding about structure of atoms was developed in ancient period from several philosophers thought provoking sense, especially from India and Greek. So Indians as well as Greek philosophers, they are very, very curious, and they thought that when we divide the object into several parts, we will reach at some point of stage, we can't divide that last minute particle of matter. That minute indivisible particle of matter, they call it as, the Greeks, they call it as atom. Indians, they call it as Parama Anu. Even though terms are different, understanding is almost the same. So the understanding about the structure of atoms was first did in the ancient period, especially Indians and Greek philosophers. And from their speculations, they concluded that atoms are the fundamental building block of matter. And even though they concluded this understanding about atom, this conclusion does not have any experimental background, because at that period the science was just developed out of thoughts, out of logic, without having any kind of experiments. Our modern science wants the experiments to prove whether anything is right or wrong. But at that period, there is no any kind of experiments to prove any fact. If it seems to be logical, if it seems to be correct according to our conscience, then this logic is accepted as science without having any kind of scientific proof, so-called as experimentations. But in 19th century onwards and early 20th century until, there are several scientists, they wanted to understand the structure of atoms, and they carried out several experiments to understand the structure of atoms. Especially you see the Hindu philosophers, and they discussed about atom. Okay, and even they claimed that there are four matters of elements of earth: fire, water, earth, and air. Okay, so they also talked about autumn in a very brief and detailed manner. So after ancient period until 19th century, there is no any kind of scientific experimentations happened. Okay, so this is the understanding. What is understanding of atom? Atom means indivisible particle of any matter. This was the conclusion. This conclusion was accepted by all scientists until 19th century, until 1800s. John Dalton was the first person to propose a theory about structure of atoms in the 19th century. Following John Dalton, there are several scientists, especially J.J. Thomson, Rutherford, Bohr, and Schrodinger. From all those conclusions from all scientists, we combined all the conclusions from all scientists, we added what is right and we removed what is wrong. From this we had understood that our final structure of atoms. Right now, the structure of atom, you see, this is the modern understanding of atoms. You see, the inside the atom there is one nucleus. In the nucleus there are protons and neutrons, and the electrons are, you see, revolving around the nucleus. This was the structure of atom. So this was the zoomed picture of atom. You see, inside the atom, center of atom has nucleus. Nucleus have positively charged particles called as protons, and no charged particles called as neutrons, and negatively charged particles called as electrons are revolving around the nucleus in a definite orbit. This was our understanding about structure of atoms from various experiments happened in 19th century and early 20th century. This means 1800s and 1900s. So many experiments happened. It was commenced by it was started from John Dalton. Followed by John Dalton, several scientists conducted several experiments. Some scientists discovered electron. Some scientists discovered a proton. Some scientists discovered a neutron. So after combining all of the conclusions of the experiments, we got this final understanding of atom. I hope you are very clear. In the next class, we will see about Dalton's atomic theory and his postulates, and what are the advantages of Dalton's atomic theory, and what are the limitations of atomic theory, and what was what was the explanation given by the Dalton's atomic theory. Okay, so thank you, my dear friends, and thank you for looking into my video, for having the conceptual clarity of the science. So hope you all understood the concept. If you have any doubts, you please put the comments in the chat box. If possible, you can ask any kind of questions that can provoke the thoughts. I highly recommend this kind of thought-provoking questions from you students. Thank you, my dear kids.